In today's video, we'll see Poland get partitioned. Why does Poland have to get partitioned? Because they're surrounded by a bunch of bullies. Except some are nice. Him, but they come to the party anyways. Because Germany said, yo guys, let's kill Poland again. Because it's fun. Poland says, can you not, Germany, start the fourth partition of me? Like, you partitioned me enough, you bullies. Russia, you included. Stop partitioning me, is what Poland says. But they say no. And we got some support, dude. As Ukraine says, this is revenge for what you did in 1920. If you've seen that video, you'll see that Poland took this part of Ukraine. And then everybody just gets involved. And all the world powers say, well, that's just partition. It happens over and over again. And every time, Poland ends up free again, so why do we need to care? So yeah, nobody helps Poland. Poor old Poland, like always. But Poland has a trick up its sleeve to survive this. Which is crazy, it's trying to survive. With what you've seen on the thumbnail. Now, that's a good thumbnail. I had to draw most of those flags, though. All of them, actually. That's why the Belarus flag looks bad. But it's not my fault that I'm bad at drawing. With Poland striking first. Yes, this was their plan in case all the nations attacked. But Germany is like, initiate operation, cut off sea access with nations starting. Including Ukraine, who starts their offensive, because they finally have peace with Russia, because Russia's like, okay, if you help me, we'll stop invading. That's how Russia got them to help. Lithuania starts its invasion, and they do. But Lithuania is sad that they're invading. And no, Bratislava is taken. Well, Poland's seen to have a successful advance. But really, it's not very. But that's looking more like an animated video. This might be a good video to make like an animated version. It won't be the same video. But sometimes animated videos are nice to watch. And yeah. Poland digs in to hold on to these gains for some reason. After moving it to almost Germany's border with Germany and Poland. You want to see trench lines, guys? Okay, I never draw trenches ever in my videos. This is the first time. What do you guys think? So Poland dug a trench here. And Germany. So basically, they can't fight there. You need to cross no man's land here. And boy, is no man's land fun. And another trench is dug here. And across Slovakia's border. As you can see, the inefficiencies of these trenches. But Poland decides maybe stop a incoming advance. That's going slow. They do this. With Ukraine taking full opportunity and going to this trench. But Germany is now having troops diverted there, everybody does. With Poland's coast falling, Poland is not in a good place. But with Poland nationalistic fighters, push them right back to the Byelorussian border. And to the Lithuanian border, almost back to Kaliningrad. But Germany's army is motivated for some reason. Don't ask me why. But Ukraine is also nationalistic about this, so you know. With German forces successfully crossing this line of trench. Which means this is what the trench looks like. Yeah, it's not very good if your trench has a hole in the middle of flat stuff. With Czechia seeing With Poland seeing the fallback and knowing it's going to fall far, they decide, seeing this, they're going to dig 2 trench lines, one here and one there. Why does Poland dig 2 trenches? Just in case they break through the first line, which is seen as a major victory. A major defeat for Poland, but a major victory for Germany. Breached, Poland decides to dig a nice line of trench. Right here. Why are they digging so many trenches? What is this, World War I? And look, see? Managed to do this with trenches, but just to let you know, trenches can be broke easily. Probably. Well, actually, do you know trenches are being used in Ukraine? I think they were used in the Iran-Iraq war trenches. I think trenches are still used. But usually in slow wars, with Lithuania pushing in. But nationalistic Polish forces managed to take back the coast, which allows them to get well-needed aid from the West. Even though the West is the one's killing you, just saying. With German forces being basically stalled out. With Germany just getting rid of some trenches casually. With Belarus managing to do this because that's useless trenches. But then something major blow happens for Poland, which is major. Ukraine breaks through their trenches. Slovakia breaks through their trenches. Which basically shows, completely breaks through, Slovakia does, as they head towards to take back their capital. Polish forces sneak through this leak in the trenches and do that. With these trenches becoming unnecessary, but still going to be there, so I remember not to go like boom, because that's not possible. Well, what else is going on the battlefield? Poland may be losing, for sure, but nationalistic Polish forces do this. Well, I said it's a partition of Poland, but you can still have allies in these, which is basically Hungary, because, they like Russia, which causes Slovakian forces to have trouble, eventually only holding a pocket, but they refuse to surrender. But as we see, Ukraine doesn't put up for this, and they march right in. With guerrilla fighting happening in Slovakia. With Hungary saying Southern Slovakia belongs to it, with their Casu Belli. But it doesn't really work, no. In Slovakia, Poland used Hungary in attempts to stop the blitzkrieging, but this kind of happens to Hungary. And Hungary's capital gets taken. But I think the problem with Hungary is they're turning towards Russia, which makes them very dangerous for NATO. Just scary to think about. But how many things do we forget about? Like, how about Syria? Still ongoing. It's basically with Germany starting a push here. Russia starts another push. But as we know, you know how good Russian equipment is? And they didn't cross trenches to let you know. This good. This is how good their artillery is. Germany is infuriated by this and demands a full assault with bombings taking place across the trenches and other weapons being used, which lead to a bunch of breakages, which everybody just leaks through. Which is a major defeat for Poland, but but Poland does do one thing. They push the spearhead back right away. Them even crossing the border into Ukraine and Belarus and Lithuania. But their trench capabilities kind of stopped being right because eventually this just happens. Their trenches have been completely unusable because of all the bombings happening on the trenches. Which, you wouldn't think that could happen. I don't think that's how trenches work. But then again, wouldn't it make a big hole that you could probably cross? Think of it. I don't know how trench warfare works. Hopefully I never see a trench. That would be scary, though. Trenches. Rats. Trenches. Well, rats are cute, then again. With the biggest blow to Poland's armed forces happening. But Poland's armed forces still say no surrender. With the partition going good now, with Ukraine starting a major assault in, even managing to help with Slovakia and take Krakow out. Right there. Belarus is headed towards Lublin. This is Warsaw. And there's a city right there. But Russia is also headed down this way to help Belarus at Lublin. And so is Lithuania, with Belarus breaking an assault here. With every meeting around Lublin, with Germany meeting at the city I told you about, I don't know what it's called, and they take the city. And then Lublin falls. But with nationalistic fighters, they still refuse to surrender. With Germany being kicked back in Polish lands here. But Germany sees this as a major blow as they start doing this in the north. With Czechia starting its invasion after its armed forces are seen as ready and fit to fight, with the coast completely falling again. In Warsaw, major fighting is seen around with major bombing campaign. Especially from this front line, there's a lot of bombing coming from. I don't know why everywhere's being bombed by that front line. I'm pretty confused, actually. But I guess we know why, because somebody there is a war criminal. Well, are they really, or are we just being told that by Western news? I don't know. This looks like a duck, guys. I think it says quack. Yeah, that was funny. Actually, it kind of looks like a camel. With Warsaw falling. But to make a joke, they basically go pow to German units, pow to Chechen, pow to Slovakian, pow to Ukrainian, pow to Belarusian, pow to Lithuania, and pow to Russian forces before they kind of say no more. And that looks like a hand. And yeah, basically Poland collapses. And I'll be back with the partition treaty. Pennsylvania. Then Russia got quite a bit. Belarus got about the same as Russia. Ukraine and Germany got a lot of land, but Czechia and Slovakia nearly doubled. Hungary lost half its land to Ukraine and Slovakia. Maybe we can make this partition series and keep using this map until I partition every nation. We can partition strong nations and continue the series, like leave off with this gone. But leave a comment what you want, because comments help me make decisions. But if you look at what Germany gained, they gained about this much. You're interested in what Belarus got? They got about that. Lithuania, Russia got about this. Actually, more like about this. From down there. I'm going to show you how much ever I got. And, well, Slovakia got the most land in comparison to the size it was. It got half its original land from Hungary, and then it got 2 times its original land from Poland, tripling in size. Ukraine gained these lands and these lands, with Czechia gaining these lands. That's pretty cool, guys. And yeah, please subscribe. No, please subscribe. Didn't mean that was a sneeze. But please like and subscribe. Why wouldn't you subscribe? It's a good video. We're trying to get to 150 by tomorrow, which is not going to happen, but I'm just deciding that's a goal because why not make a goal? And then we can do a goal for every month from now on. So that's all for today's video, pretty much. Please like, subscribe, and comment on if you want this to become a series, Wild Map